Hawksbill sea turtles are among the most endangered turtle species on Earth and live in tropical waters around the Indian, Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, so please don't kill them. They might well be beautiful, but they don't come close to a new group of hawksbills which were discovered in the Solomon Islands. Scientists found that some of the turtles in their study were biofluorescent. Simply put, they glow in the dark, naturally. These turtles seem to have evolved with similar properties as certain fish, sharks, corals and even seahorses, but since they've only recently been discovered, scientists are as of yet unsure why they've discovered this spectacular behaviour. When a translucent Kermit was flipped over, scientists found that its abdomen was entirely transparent, meaning that its blood vessels and even its internal organs are on full display. This carnivorous sponge was first announced by the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute in April 2014. The sponge sits on the seabed and uses the natural ebb and flow of the tide to catch small sea creatures and then digest them over the course of several days. The catchily named Philodesmium acathorinium, or funky sea slug, I think I'm going to stick with funky sea slug, is a newly discovered kind of underwater gastropod which measures just 1 inch in length. This funky sea slug displays its bright blue, red and yellow markings which seem to pulse as it moves around. Specimens have been located in the waters around Okinawa Island in Japan and the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. This incredible creature has the camouflaged edge on its smaller counterparts, since it looks like a large tree branch at more than a foot long. Entomologists announced that the 2 new species and 1 subspecies of Phasmatodea, the scientific name for stick insects, was found during their expeditions in the remote forests of Vietnam in late 2014. This animal belongs to a tiny, defenseless and downright cute little rodent which lives on the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia. The cute little thing has ears which are 1/5 the length of its body, but it's their teeth which are the most impressive. Their bottom teeth can grow up to 19mm, about 3/4 of an inch, but thankfully they've lost the coronoid process in their jaws, meaning that their bite isn't hard enough to pierce skin. This heroic ant can be found in Madagascar, where its oddball method of self-defense sees it renowned in the animal kingdom. When the Malagadris Safina senses an insect trying to invade its colony, it charges at it, grabs the intruder, leaps off the ant equivalent of a cliff, removing the threat completely. Once the invader has been removed from the colony, it gets straight back up and gets back to work. Characterised by pale, bulging eyes and bared teeth, the ninja lantern shark is actually much smaller than you might think. At around 46 centimetres, 1.5 foot, these little nippers could sure hurt you, but they're not going to take the terrifying title away from the great white shark. You're unlikely to run into any of them, of course, since the ninja lantern shark lives around 1,000 feet down in the water off the coast of Central America. And if you are 1,000 feet under the water, then to be honest, tiny sharks are probably the least of your problems. Macroscelides micus, or Etendeca, round-eared sengi, might be the cutest critter on this list, and is definitely one of the most amazing. Discovered in 2014, this little mammal looks like a mouse with a trunk, hence its name, but is actually more closely related to elephants and manatees than rodents. These frogs, which are found in Ecuador, can change the texture of their skin at will. They go from smooth to bumpy depending on their surroundings. Although the mutable rain frog, or Pristimantis mutabilis, are only the size of a fingernail, it's incredible to watch their natural process in action. Researchers found that when the frog was placed in a lidded cup, it grew thorn-like prickles on its back, but when it was placed on a sheet of paper, the little frog's skin became completely smooth. A fascinating creature.